I just fired it up, the stream. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll just be quiet until it gets in.
Yep.
It's just doing it. It's just working. Hello race fans and welcome to our Monday night special. It's fireworks, JFD and Puff Daddy going at it for first and second places respectively. I'm here with Pace Dogs. We're in Azerbaijan. Pace Dogs, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm doing good. Just empty
Residential weatherman Arrow Strike
Nice.
goes ahead and says dry overcast race. So just get that out in the open.
Well, that's what we need.
Per Tier 1 dry races, Tier 2 gets all the dirty weather.
Absolutely, and that's the way we like it because the Tier 2 drivers are better. Pace Dogs.
It was a little tight one tonight. I was wondering if we were both going to be in the booth. You had some connection issues. I was just sitting around waiting for an invite. I get thrown the question by Puff about if I was coming or not. It was jumping into the wolves right away here.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I was actually just on a call with a friend about a little bit of concrete work that I might do on the side while I'm waiting to have my baby. But that's neither here nor there because we're here now. Pace Dogs, who's your prediction for tonight?
Well, I don't know. I know the Tier 1 guys haven't raced a lot with them here at this track because I'd like to stay away from this place as much as I could. Should be exciting. Gonna be dicey through the left and right 90s, especially the castle. But I'm gonna stick with the old man JFD. He's got a good run going.
The old
Puff's
man
right
JFD.
But
and what do you think? Do you think Fuzz is gonna make a good showing again today?
I think he will, of course.
Oh wait, that was 2 races ago.
Yeah, but I mean, he had a great showing at USA. This is a completely different type of track. Guys that might not be good at USA, this could be something they blow some people out of the water at. So
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see a lot of drafting passes down the front, start-stop straight. I'm thinking that we should name some turns right now. So what do you got for turns 1, 2, and 3? I was thinking the rectangle.
Yeah, the rectangle's good with me. I'd like to. Let's see. If we go over to Sector 2 with the sweeping left, I'd like to call that the Grosjean, if we could.
The Grosjean?
Yeah. Where he, real life, I think Ericsson hit us, and he spun into the wall under caution right there.
Oh, bummer. Okay. So that's the Grosjean.
Well, we don't have to. We could call it the sweeper, but...
Oh, Ginnett retired from the session?
Already.
What happened? Is it another pit lane problem for Ginnett?
It looks to me as if I don't even think his car left the box.
Oh, I think potentially that could have been a penalty. If you were so kind enough to check the incident report, stewards' decisions, tell us what you find, Pace Dogs.
That will be after last race with the bump into T-Money on the last lap of the German Grand Prix, Ginnett received 10 seconds and 4 penalty points, and that 4 penalty points jumped him up to a quali ban for here. Baku.
Yeah. Well, he finished strong last race, but unfortunately this race he will be at the back of the pack to start, but Ginnett is always down for a last to first finish, but not at the expense of other drivers. Will be at the front of his mind during this race here at Azerbaijan.
Great showing for him, regardless of the penalty he had to serve. I do believe it was an accident, but still very unfortunate last race for T-Money. You know, having the lead there and, you know, losing it last few corners, three corners left to go, I believe. Gets a bump, just spins. Ginnett made a last of almost first run there. JFD ends up sweeping it through for the victory after Puff doesn't make a point showing position, so that gave a huge bump to JFD in the points. I think he's sitting at 231 points to Puff's 208.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Well, I hope Puff brought his A game today. I know he was not happy with his performance in Germany, but he has been pretty vocal about how he is an experienced driver at Azerbaijan, and anything can happen with all these cement barriers. You got to keep it tight, concise. What wings would you recommend for today for all our inexperienced drivers, or potentially people wanting to learn?
Well, you want high downforce for the quick turn, but you also want to be fast because of the straights. So I would say, you know, a lot of guys do it different. I don't know. That's I'm not even sure what I'm running here at the moment, because this is a track I struggle at from time to time. But maybe somebody in the chat, GP'd like to throw his input on that, and you as well, Chicken. What do you run?
A 3.2. No, wait, 3.2? That's a lie. 2.4, I think, if I'm not
2.4.
2.4, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it might even be 2.3. Sorry, now that I think about it, you know, I just don't know how much focus is on the. Maybe I might run a little bit more wings when it comes to racing with full fuel, but I know for my 5 lap it's 2.3, I believe. Just trying to keep the flow high, you know, maintaining the speed through the corners, trying to find that racing line perfectly. Oh, and Puff gets some snap understeer from acceleration there. Just about puts it in the wall through the Grosjean section. Going to the downhill left-hander here. Yeah, pace, I am a 2.3 kind of person through here. I don't like to sacrifice the speed on the straights. I
would definitely say I'm probably, I haven't really looked at the setup here as recently as I'd like to, but I would say I'm around that area as well. I like a car that's not. Sometimes I like a car that's a little loose.
A little loose,
is
absolutely.
Fast, and if it's too tight, you know, I get a little blocked up and I go for walls, and that's definitely not what you want on a track that has no runoff at all. Your runoff's about a foot wide, and then you have a concrete wall. So
exactly, and the runoff areas are not very forgiving, as they look like they're only maybe 15 meters deep. So,
what are you thinking here, Chicken, for the tire strategies tonight? Definitely a one stop for the guys. Soft medium, perhaps.
Snap oversteer. That's always a big debate, whether it's oversteer or understeer. Aerostrike saying that Puff received snap oversteer. Understeer drifts you out, and it's more gradual. Anyway, what did you say, Pace?
Resident know-it-all, Aerostrike.
Resident know-it-all.
So, who's your prediction for the race tonight, regardless of the and your tire strategy guess for the race?
Well, I haven't done much research, but what it's looking like is that. Oh, I like how Doth went right out on the softs this time. He usually likes to spend a few laps farting around on the mediums and the hards, but he went right for the softs instead of 139.791. So I can agree with Doth. I think that if you can get to the front of the pack and get away, you're looking for a soft start. But if you feel as if you're a mid-tier driver, kind of a mid-pack driver, you might want to go with the mediums to preserve the tire life, as well as give yourself the best advantage if there does happen to be a if there does happen to be a safety car. And so a lot of the front runners will go in and change to the medium or the hard strategy depending on when the safety car comes out. So that would put a mid-tier on the mediums in an advantageous position. For me, maybe mediums. Mediums. Is it a 3-stop? A medium, soft, or I think it's a 3-stop here, isn't it?
A 3-stop. Well, I'm not sure. Like I said, this race not too much research on. Yeah, 2-stop is what I would go with at the max. But
max, yeah, 2-stop.
You know how the guys, we think it's going to be set up perfect strategy. That's everybody's idea. See what we can get, and a safety car comes in and ruins that, and everybody switches off anyway. So it's kind of a gamble, regardless.
I think most of the time, somebody usually puts it into the wall. Not so much on a real F1 race, because there's so much to lose if you lose the car, right? Especially around here where it could be very life-threatening. But in this game, people are willing to take more risks because you can let that car go and not have to worry.
Also, Arrow throws in that it's a low tire deg track, so tires will last here a little bit longer than they would anywhere else. Makes sense considering it's a lot of stop and goes, a lot of very fast straights with hard braking, quick turns.
Right, so a one-stop potential. I think we're going to see a lot of people going for 2, and that's maybe mixed for a safety car and then I guess if there's 0 safety cars, it looks like a lot of people are going to try that hard medium strategy here. We have 4 people in the
Doth and Camden throw out the mid 138s and JFD as well.
Arbiga not too far behind, just under a second behind. That's an excellent lap for him.
Curious as to what Mr. Let's Get Digital, Puff Digital decides to do on his 3-lap old hards. Is he going to stay out that way, or is he going to come in on the go fast tires and try to get up there by his teammate or ahead? Going to be an interesting race, though. Always very exciting into turn 1 and 2, as well as 3, especially 3 because you got that long straight. DRS isn't open yet. Lots of drafting available, and then you're going to head up into the castle section shortly after. So something seems to always happen in that area of the track. Very bad place to get turned sideways.
Yes. Were you referring to the castle section?
Yeah, I was just referring to how the start is going to usually wild at a place like this, because you got left, and then a long straight with no DRS active yet, under 3 laps, drafting, and then you're going to move into Sector 2 and hit the castle. And the castle is just terrible if you get spun sideways. It's going to cause a traffic jam for sure.
It's definitely going to be an issue. I foresee a car turning it sideways in the castle section today, not because of careless driving, but just because of pressure that's going to get to people coming out of the rectangle and the floater left-right chicane there before the castle section, especially that hairpin, what looks like a V on the map. We can call it the just over 90 right there before the castle section. If somebody's right on your tail, it puts a lot of mental strain on you coming to the castle section. And I know for a fact somebody's going to try and pass in the castle, and that's just gonna be it right there for sure.
It's that one spot that most tracks do have, as we're very familiar with, we like to bring it up, the Wall of Champions at Canada. You don't want to do it there. The high-speed chicanes heading down to the final penultimate corner at Monza. You don't want to. You want to try to pass through chicane there. Multiple places, different tracks, but the castle, especially here, is somewhere you want to be single file through. If you get sideways, you're going to be pulling the Austin Powers move that he does in the hallway and backing up, going forward, backing up, going forward, and then you're going to stop every single car behind you.
Oh, they're going to go right through you. People don't have time to wait.
Yeah, they don't have time to wait, and then there's going to be wing damage from multiple people after you, and that usually ends up with people not being happy. Incident reports headed your way.
Hey, it looks like we have the racing points moving into 4th and 5th position. Hotspur's up into 5th. He's a good qualifier, not having the best results lately. Hopefully he can bring that racing point to the finish line in a high points paying position today. Big move back down into 7th on the softs.
Hotspur is heading out right now. Doth's still holding at first place, but Arrow jumped in there in second with the 138.5. And Mr. Neal, I will go ahead and fill you in since you're in the chat asking the questions about the standings. So if you look at Mr. JFD, who's currently sitting in 4th place, he's leading the championship with 231 points. Puff Digital behind him, 206. Ginnett, F1 Ginnett's 163 in 3rd place. The Racing Points are beating the Red Bulls 281 to 274. So there's your quick standings rundown just because you asked in the chat.
I do stand corrected on the oversteer understeer issue. Although, if you do go online, it's different opinions. Oversteer is bringing the nose around, and then the ass end flies out, and understeer being overshooting the corner. So I do stand corrected by Arrow Strike. So thank you, Arrow, for being so wise.
If you can't make the corner, it's understeer. If you can make the corner and you spin out, it's oversteer.
Exactly. Well put. Well put. My life's been a lie for so long. Sam.
I usually just say, I missed my braking point, and that's why you don't make the corner.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Especially in the, it's pretty easy to do in Assetto, not Assetto cars, Project Cars. I did spend a little bit of time there today at Spa and at
RC's tires, by the way. Go on.
Retired in the pits, deciding that 15th place is as good as he is going to get today. So RC with a lot of work to do from 15th, hopefully to the points paying positions. UK Coxie. Excuse me?
Looked like JFD was moving through there on a heater. Maybe he's just starting his flying lap, trying to get one more in before quali's up. But yeah, how was your time the last minute we got here? How was your time on Project Cars? I know we didn't get a race today like we planned, but it's all good.
All good in the hood. Project Cars was good to me today. A little frustrating at Spa. I was having troubles trying to find those extra tenths against the 100 AI, so I had to move it down to 98. It's kind of mid-pack. I had 30 with the GT3 cars, and I put them about 70 aggressiveness with 98 driver skill, and they were a lot to handle. They were fast, and they were very unforgiving. So didn't really make 10 laps there, but I found that you could make the multi-class races, so I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun at Imola, rocking a 3 different class race, and I was smoking the AI there because I was able to find those tents, but had a lot of fun. Definitely looking to get a little more Project Cars too, but not to take away from Formula 1. Obviously, our first goal is to finish the season strong. UK Coxie in 6th place, my dear teammate, setting a 139.007, has finished 6th place there.
See what her JFD does here, crossing the line. Maybe probably one of the last guys to do it. I don't think he moves up any. Gonna hold on to 4th place there. So Doth looking really good. 7 P1, Camden just behind him. Mr. Aerostrike in 3rd, JFD holding 4, Sir Harry, the other Pink Panther in 5th. UK Coxie, your buddy. Lacuna 7th, Puff Digital, Red Bulls together, Arbiga in 9th, negative. D-Zig takes 9th. Arbiga holding out top 10. Sam, Vitality, Zamaglis, Ryan, Team Money 15th, RC 16th, Gruesome 17th, and Ginnett with the quali bands going to end out the field at the moment in 18th. Decided to go ahead and get that rundown finished here while I can actually see the entire grid instead of when the game decides to load out the grid and I can't see where people are and have to wait.
That's a good idea. That's a veteran move, seeing as how you've been here for this your 4th race.
Oh yeah, we're just moving up there.
No, Coxie gets a 5 grid place penalty for blocking on track. That is devastating. I wonder if that's a glitch of some sort, as Coxie had finished and I don't think he had control of his car, so I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case come race time, but that's devastating if that follows through.
Yeah, unsure about that. I think Sir Harry was behind him, so I don't know if that's what caused it. I'm sure we all know Coxie's not going to be very happy with that, so yeah, Arrow let us know that was Coxie's AI, so
well, hopefully
I'm not sure what the stewards could do with that if it even is reviewable, because 5 place grid before the race, what are they going to do? Give him a couple seconds back? So
give him a high 5. Yeah, that's all you can do. Sucks to suck, and Zemo needing to retire here shortly. Time remaining 5 seconds. What an exciting qualifying session. Doth almost punches down into the 137s, maintaining his lead with a 138, 133, 3.5 tenths faster than Camden Luca, and I am excited to see Camden on top again. He came and put a beating on the boys in what I believe was Monaco, and hasn't really shown us all of his beautiful assets and skills as of late. So I'm hoping to see Camden do well today.
Yeah, I'd like to see Camden do well. Also,
Coxie did get the 5 positions, because it is showing.
It is.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
I think I'm still going to go with the same prediction with, as I called him, old man JFD. But it's going to be interesting to see JFD along with his teammate there, Harry. Maybe they could do a little work together to try to push up and get close to Camden. Camden very fast, though, and good for Doth, grabbing a pole. Happy to see that guy up front. Really good dude. Him and JFD both, so happy to see that regardless.
I'm just letting Vitality know that he should hold on for a second to let everybody get their strategies, because it's a pretty common reflex people have.
2-minute break, buddy, and nobody understands that, and they like to smash the X button.
Well, its session is starting in 25 seconds. I don't know if I can call that 2, but it looks like Sam, Camden, Vitality, and Lacunac are the potential culprits today. So hopefully,
Lacunac's a repeat offender, and that he should know better.
Puff says, "Let's go, boys." So I believe somebody started it, and the action was sanctioned. And yes, Puff does not like when people mess with the rules.
So as we went through quali there, we got the order set up. Doth, Camden, Arrow, JFD, Sir Harry is the top 5. What's your what's your pick here? Because we got Mr. Puff holding on to 7th place, but he's sitting on those mediums, so he's going to be able to drive a little further than those top guys. What are you thinking now after we got the grid order set?
I want to give this one to Doth. He has been on the wrong end of luck lately, so today I think he's going to put himself in the best position to come out here and show these guys his pace on these softs. Really trying to take it to the rest of the T1 guys, kind of move up. I think he's gunning to move up a little higher in the championship before the end of the season. So my prediction today is a Doth on the top step of the podium. My dark horse, Puff Digital, coming from the back. I know he's looking to get digital lately, trying to put this on the podium, hopefully today. And then if I'm going to shoot from the very far back, I always like to give Ryan and or T-Money's all the way back there too, and RC7. Well, look, 14, 15, 16, and 17 are all killers. So
yes,
under the right circumstance, it's anybody's race today.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Coxie moved back to 11th there because of the grid penalty, but Puff is the first man on the yellow medium compound tire with the 6 in front of him sitting on those softs. Low tire deck track, I guess I should say.
Low tire deck track.
Yeah. 26 laps here at 50%, so it's going to be interesting to see how far he's going to take those, and if he'll swap over to the softs after that, see if that strategy helps him out. But I would say I'm going to have to stick with Mr. JFD, but like I said before, us hopping into this formation lap, it's exciting to see Doth up front. Good for him. I think he deserves it. Pretty nice dude, so it's going to be exciting. But
definitely a super nice dude. He's very nice. Sometimes I am, it warms my heart to know that there's so many nice people in this.
He's helped me out
league.
With my wheel a ton, just to help me out, But
that's awesome.
I'll go ahead and hand it to you here because we're about to have those lights coming up soon. So all yours, Mr. Chicken. Take us through it.
Thank you, Pace Dogs. The last driver's just getting to the grid now. Doth leading off the action. Camden on the inside, an excellent position to be in for this race start, as the inside is an awesome, this is a great place to pass, and I'm sure we'll see many passes here. The drivers are lined up, ready to go. 4 lights, 5 lights, and holy moly, wait time, away we go. Doth getting a fantastic start, and Camden moves up the inside. Doth going a little bit to the outside, has to check up. Aerostrike taking advantage, moving into 2nd place. So Doth now moves down to 2 positions to 3rd place. JFD maintaining Sir Harry Hosford, and we have Ginnett all the way to the back of the pack there, and as he was before the race start, RC7 loses a position, Ryan loses a position. Other than that, the grid is basically equal. What a fantastic start. Arbiga moves up a position on Dzig. Wow, what a great start. These guys are off and away. I don't think we're really going to see any people coming in because of some wing damage. Pace Dog, did you catch anything from the back?
They look fairly clean. I was trying to keep an eye on those guys at the front as well, being that they're heading into the castle section at the moment. Here goes Camden, first man through. He's clean through. Arrow and top 3 are all good, but that's going to be the danger zone, I would say, on the track, as it usually is for the race tonight. But first lap, very impressive by all the guys. Looks like everyone's clean at the moment.
Yeah, everybody making it through clean, coming down the left-hander, down into the next left-hander, I'd say. Doth setting a fastest sector 2 on my screen. He's going to try and make some movements on Aerostrike, maintaining that for... Oh, we have a... Oh, and it looks like somebody has gone around, and it's Ginnett. Sector 2, Ginnett having a giant issue. Brings the car around. His end plates look good. I think he just got some snap oversteer and lost the car. Camden Lucas at 146.877.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, again, its plates, end plates on the car at the moment look clean. You're just going to have to keep those tire temps down after that spin, especially on the hard tire compound, but he'll have time to catch up, being that they'll be pitting a lot earlier than him. Something I'd like to bring up, though, this track is going to be one of those near the end and when big moves are going to be made for passing. That long front straight down to that left-hand corner. This is one of those tracks where you almost want to be going into the first corner in second or behind the car to time a pass for the beginning of the next lap, because that straight is so long. If you are the lead car on it, you're most definitely going to get a hard pull and you're going to get past. So
Camden using every inch of space there, coming to the castle section, showing us how it is done. I'm pretty sure he rubbed the microfibers off of the outside of his wing there. Fantastic job. Doth in third place now, looking to move back up into those points, into that higher podium steps. JFD Hotspurs holding on, doing an excellent job behind for the racing points today. Puff Digital and Arbiga are separated by Lacunac, who is in his best position so far this year, racing for T1. I know Lacunac has made a few errors in the past, but he is getting it all figured out, and that is apparent today as he is 7th on the grid so far. And UK Coxey loses a position to Vitality. Vitality moving up into 11th place, 1 second behind Sam. Oh, and Coxey goes in. I think he might have had some wing damage.
yeah, an interesting thing here, not to hop in real quick, is the Lacunac is setting in a great position right there in 7th, but the top 6 are all within DRS range of each other. They're single file rolling through, getting ready to use that DRS here. So this next start-stop straight is going to get pretty interesting with all the cars lined up, moving quick.
Coming through the floating left-right-hander, Hotspurs right on the back of JFD, JFD right on the back of Doth, Doth right on the back of Arrow, and they are smashed together all behind Camden, Luca. Camden, we're going to go on board here, going through the castle section, just to show everybody what we're working with here. Brakes at the 50 board, a little bit of apex, just brushing that right side perfectly. No wasted acceleration. Those tires are on point. Cam doing a fantastic job holding off Aerostrike, but Aerostrike 5/10 behind, coming out of the Grosjean into the downhill left-hander, and then the square left at the end. Aerostrike.
Ooh, Harry Hotspur. Harry Hotspur bumps the downhill left-hander, loses an in-play.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Hotspur. He's been doing so well today, trying to hold on to his teammate here. He's gonna have to decide if that is worth it for him to go in. Maybe he pulls a lap to see how much time he is losing.
Yeah, it's an okay place to maybe have a little wing damage, with the turns being such kind of slowy turns. But you know that those sweepers right before the start-stop straight, if you don't have full wing there, it's going to be rough getting through, especially with the low drag settings they run.
Doth Alhoist moving into second place through the rectangle, coming into the last corner of the rectangle. The penultimate corner of the rectangle here. They're taking the left-hander, coming to the right-hander. Aerostrike looking to make that position back. JFD 4/10 behind Aerostrike, and Puff 9/10 on the mediums behind JFD. This medium strategy might have proved to be the exact right decision for Puff today, letting these guys know I have as much pace as you do on your softs, but when those softs start to wear down, I am coming for you.
Yeah, that sleeper pick might have been a great one there, because he has gained a few spots. He is the front runner on the medium compound by far, next to Vitality back there in 10th place. So he's gonna be set up very nice if he can pull away once these soft runners pit.
Vitality 4/10 behind Dezig now. He is his first race today, making a good showing, moving into that last points paying position. Right behind Dezig. Dezig wavering just a little bit, coming into the left-hander before the a very long end of Sector 3, start of Sector 1 straight, and he is going to look to make that position up quickly on the mediums, get past Dizek, and look to our biggest behind to slap that big a booty.
Doth has DRS open. He's going to pull a move on the outside of Camden and makes it stick into turn 1 there. So Doth back to first place.
So Vitality does make that position up on Dizek. Lukunak moving back into 8th. Bo and they're side by side through the middle of the rectangle. Lukunak lets him go. Arbiga aggressively taking that position, showing Lukunak that I am the boss, baby. Oh, Lukunak goes to the outside. Biga playing the defensive, and Lukunak goes up the inside for a fantastic move on our Biga. Biga now on the back foot. Vitality right beside him, and their cars are glitched together. I didn't see what happened. They just showed up outside of the turn. Biga moves into 9th place. Vitality moves up to 8th. What happened, Pace?
No, I got the same issue on my screen as well. Looks like both wings are clear for the drivers, but to me, Vitality's cockpit was basically on top of Biga's entire chassis, so weird in-game moment there, I think. But
Sector 2 yellow flag. Oh no, and Ryan has gone around our resident zookeeper. Unfortunately, he has not been able to hold on to the car through the castle section, but I wonder if that was independent or assisted through the castle section. We have a safety car, a full... Oh, and Ginnett is there as well. I don't know what happened. Holy Toledo! Coxie's
We did mention there that Coxie has a broken wing end plate again on the Alfa Romeo there, but odd moment there with the Haas's together. So I think one of them, as we mentioned before, with the castle section.
All these guys are going in right now. We're going to see a bunch of people go. Oh no! Doth goes in, Camden goes in, JFD goes in, Hotspurs, Lukunak, Biga all go in on the soft. Naturally, all of our soft runners have made it into the pits, and Doth comes out right in front of Camden, so that is a fantastic pit exit for him. Be careful not to throw it on this left-hander out of the pit exit. Doth into 5th place, Camden into 6th place. And now our medium front runner, Puff Digital, making it to the top step of the podium. Pace Dogs.
Yeah, big. That's huge for Mr. Digital there. RC gains a ton, moving up into 4th on the hards. So he's basically going to be near the strategy of the front runners now. It's going to be huge for Vitality and Puff if they can make a little gap on those guys that just went into the pits for the hards, Doth being the first one out. So if they can pull a gap on them with their medium tire compound and get in and get on those softs, and keep the lead, or if they just lose it by a little bit, they will be on the faster compound at the end. So it's going to be dicey here, getting into our middle teens laps of the race.
Nice. I'm excited.
Also, of course, very solid chance we're going to see another one of these safety cars with that difficult castle section, which we mentioned before the race, and look what happened. We got one in that area.
One of the first 6 laps. If we look at it that way, we should have a safety car every 5 laps here. Trying to make up too much time. I know from experience, if you feel as if you can try and make time through the castle section, you're sorely mistaken. The castle section, you want to take it smooth, concise, and slow. If you feel that you are not on a steady foot consistently, you run the risk of turning it sideways, as coined by our resident color commentator here, Pace. Not a good idea to push it through the castle section.
Yeah, because if you do go slow through there and you think you're losing a little bit of time, no one's going to pass you through there, or at least they shouldn't go for it. It's too narrow. So if you do lose a little bit of time, you can still keep the car behind and then try to gain it back through the remainder of Sector 2. Try to stay away from him into the DRS straight there, but it's just not a place to push, not a place to chance your race, because a pit stop here is rough. You're going to get a lot of people passing you on that long straight.
I believe I have the tires on GP. I don't know if he asked that.
That was at the very beginning, I think,
Ah,
or at
yes,
the end of
yes.
quali.
Okay,
But
awesome.
I tried to fill him in there.
Oh, Pace
Make
Dogs,
sure he knew.
Jordan Decker, heir of the Black and Decker empire.
Yes.
Pace Dogs, what are you drinking today? Got a beer?
Some Orange Crush.
Orange Crush, nice.
Yeah.
A great drink.
Orange Crush today. All the beer's gone. Have to venture out and put my mask on to go to the beer store. Probably tomorrow. So, but it's pretty set up here. We got a little nice drive up. You hand your car, they take care of it, bring it out and set it in the bed of my truck.
Nice, that's awesome.
So, nice and easy.
We got nothing except plexiglass shields for our people at the till, but you're still allowed to walk through the store. I don't know if we're really taking it as serious as people should be, but Calgary is about to reopen a lot of the stores.
Well, it's all opinion. Everybody has their outlook on it. There's some places that I think need to be taken very serious, and there's some places that maybe things could get bumped open with the economy and stuff. It might help out, but you got to look at places like New York and where it's very dense, very, very close proximity in the population. That's a place I think should be taking it very serious. But I do believe safety cars coming in this lap. Puff is slowing down. All the guys are gathering up here, so it's going to be a nice drag race down to turn 1.
Fantastic. The safety car is just about in. Puff Digital bringing us around the kink in the front straight. It looks like the drivers are off now, and Puff Digital full speed ahead. Vitality in second place on the mediums, looking to show our second place points leader what he's capable of. Coming into the first corner of the rectangle, Puff taking a perfect turn with the apex, just brushing that curbing on the outside there. Everybody gets through nice and tight. Zmoglis is now 4/10 behind Vitality. All of our drivers within 1 second of each other up until the gap between Arrow and Gruesome.
Yeah, Father GP in the chat there, he's asking if it's a mistake for JFD. I mean, no.
Holy Toledo! Oh, and JFD goes long into the. Oh, we have a Sector 1 yellow flag. A little mix-up between Arbiga and JFD there. JFD has to go to the runoff area, and the Lagunac taking the B trail beside Biga there. Oh, and Lagunac goes all the way to the back. What happened to that crazy bastard? Holy Toledo, I don't even look. I'm looking at the big loser there, JFD. Unfortunately, Lakunak all the way behind. I don't know what happened, but I know there was a tussle between the two.
Yeah, we got basically 10th back to 18th, all very closely grouped up. Just split away from that slight disconnect in the middle pack, and then we got the front runners all together as well. So lots of racing going to be happening, but GP asked if it was a mistake to go on the hards by Doth and Camden. At the moment, I would say no. 5th and 6th, they're on newer tires than the other guys. They could be putting themselves on the same strategy. Puff and Vitality are going to have to pull a gap for their strategies to work out, I think. So we'll see how that works out for them. But I think Doth's sitting in a very good place, making a move on RC, going down into turn 1 right now.
Oh, and RC is able to brake a little bit later and a little bit more flush there, maintaining that 4th pace position. Doth right behind, 3/10 now. Camden 3/10 behind him. Aerostrike 3/10 behind Camden. All of these drivers willing to take the risk that it is necessary to move up higher on the grid here. Coming out of the rectangle into the last right-hander of the rectangle. This is a very tight race. Keep your eyes on the prize, folks. Watch. You're going to see some fantastic action coming up here in the next few laps. Still a 17 laps to go. Stay tuned. And we're going to go to commercial. just kidding. There's no commercials. Nobody's paying us to do
nice,
this, everybody. Huh? But you could pay us with shouting out in the chat, who's your favorite, chicken or Pace Dog? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that, because I don't want to make Pace feel bad. I'm just joking. I don't know. Sometimes you got a minute here. The first place driver, second place, third place, and fourth place, all outside of DRS range, but Doth again trying to make that move on RC7 down the front straight here, and he has a lot of time. Looking for a good exit out of the downhill left-hander. Unfortunately, he's a little bit far back here, but maybe he chose to be this far back, as it does take a little bit to get that higher speeds from the DRS and from the front straight draft. Oh, Camden loses a position to Aero Strike, but he might be able to take it back into the first corner here. We're going to stay on board watching Camden Luca go around the outside. Aero Strike braking perfectly, squeezing just a little bit. They're still side by side through the front portion of the rectangle. Camden, and they get plumb through the second corner. These guys are still side by side. What a bunch of fighters. Or actually, Aero Strike now filing in behind Camden.
Doth does try to make another move on RSC there in the last turn of the rectangle, but couldn't.
Oh my goodness. Camden and Aero Strike have taken all of these corners side by side. Aero Strike going for the cutback on Camden, riding on board with Aero Strike, looking. Oh, and he lets him go through the floating left right-hander here. I don't know if Aero Strike's willing to make a move through the castle section. We're going to have to wait for the front straight, but fantastic driving between Aero Strike and Camden. A lot of respect shown there.
Yeah, I think speaking of those strategies, something I didn't even notice is all those guys that went in the pit, they all threw on the hards except for Aero and Ryan and a couple of guys at the back, Ginnett and Coxey. So it's going to be interesting what happens between that and Doth and Camden on the hards there, with Aero running mediums. He's going to have to make up some positions here for that strategy to work out. But as we said, you like to start off a race with a strategy in mind, knowing what you're going to do, but especially at a place like this, safety car comes out and completely ruins that idea. Aero goes a little wide, bumps the wall in the high-speed S's, but I think he's good on. He might have lost an in-plate there.
The high-speed S section now coined by Pace Dogs. Dotha Hoist moving to the outside. RC7 trying to keep that front wing, and he has to let off there. Dotha Hoist makes it through into fourth place, coming through the better part of the second straight of the rectangle.
Aero is going to lose some time here to Camden, I think, so that medium tire strategies, he's going to have to see what he can do, but he is missing the right front end plate with that, or the, the left front end plate after bumping that wall.
Gruesome car getting gruesomely close to Biga. 3/10 there through the rectangle, through the floating left right-hander, coming through the castle section, looking to make a productive move on Biga if he can hold on to the back of his diffuser through the Grosjean, the downhill left-hander, the at the bottom left-hander, through the S's and down into the front straight. Still a few corners here before he can make that move happen, so on board with Gruesome, driving a great race today so far.
Yeah, with your input on this here, Chicken, but Aero is staying with Camden, so maybe he doesn't have to jump in to the pits to that wing too early here. But from my experience, I have driven this track with a little bit of a damaged wing for, say, 6 or 7 laps and eventually go into pit for tires. I personally find it difficult, if you've gotten used to driving with a broken wing, to go in and put a brand new one on. You almost have so much control that you're not used to it, and I have taken a lot of damage in the S's in a previous league before after I pit. It's a difficult change during the race when you're going this quick.
Yes, Ginnett dives into the pit. Oh, and Ginnett goes a little, or sorry, Ginnett stays out. Somebody went into the pits there. I believe that was, oh, that is Ginnett in the pit. So I was on board with Sam there, taking that corner a little bit wide, wider than he would have liked. Just about brought it around into the into the wall. Hosper's loses position to Ryan, 2/10 behind Ryan. The potential to take that position back is there, and now Camden in 6th place is 2/10 behind RC7. So RC7 losing that position to Doth on the 11 lap hards. I feel like his tires are starting to slow down a little bit compared to these guys with the lower degradation provided by Pace Dogs, our resident dictionary. Thank you very much, sir.
Thesaurus. So we do have, they're all on 11 lap old tires at the moment, respectively on the mediums and the hards, top 3. Puff's strategy is working out right now. He's pulling away 3.7 for Vitality. Doth's sitting there in the 6 lap olds, which is the alternate strategy at the moment for the people who didn't pit during the safety car. Really paying off at the moment, though, as I said, for Puff. It's going to be see what happens here, as we know that things can get wild through the castle section, especially with these middle pack cars grouped up. But Camden makes a move in RC. Arrow tucks back in. Well, I think it's going to start getting dicey with these 13 laps or so to go here.
Ginnet picks up 5 for corner cutting. Not even a warning. Taking the corner, the cut route. So not good for Ginnet, not having the race he wanted today. Paying for that mistake on T-Money last race. Puff Digital moving into 13th place on Coxie there. So everybody really tight. If you can look at on the mini-map, they are all coming to that right-hander and the floating left-right chicane. This is a tight race. Oh, and Ginnet has retired from the session. I believe he just called it. I don't want to race anymore today. Right-ho, mate.
Yeah, I believe that's, yeah, he retired in the pit lane there, so after that 5-second and a couple pit stops, I think he might have just called it.
Ooh, Doth taking a lot of curb there. That could have been a warning. RC is the driver to focus on right now in 4th place on the 12 lap hards. Ginnet has completely left the session now. Goodbye, Ginnet. I salute you, my friend. RC7 in 7/10 behind Camden. Luca potentially looking to make a move down the start-stop straight here, but he looks like he is just a little bit too far. Although Aerostrike is 5th place, right behind RC7, posing as his teammate today. I don't know if he's going to try and make this move. He is into the corner. RC7 and Aerostrike side by side, and Aerostrike gets bumped and goes around. He's not going to be happy with that, running the pit exit lane now, dropping back all the way to 10th position, right behind Ryan, who moves up 9th into the 2nd points paint position. Did you catch any of that pace?
Yeah, it looked like Arrow just of course wanted to go in side by side, obviously not wanting to make contact, I would say, but you know how it works in this racing with these cars. Side pod touches are just an absolute trampoline, so if you make contact with somebody's side pod, you're probably going to get bounced off.
You're probably Fucksville. T-Money moving up into 7th place now behind Gruesome Car on the 8 lap hards. All of the drivers from positions 1 to 10 are on the 8 laps or up, either hards or mediums. This is a beautiful thing to look at. I believe after a few more laps here, we're going to see a lot of drivers come in for the softs for a last few lap dash. And also, I believe we're going to see some of these hard runners stay out to try and maintain that gap that they're going to put to the drivers that go in, running those hards all the way to the end. But they will be slippy. They will be very slippery pace dogs.
Yeah, I would say Zamoglis on the 13s, RC 13s, Gruesome on the 13 lap old hards. They'll probably come in, but as we were speaking on strategies, Doth is sitting in 2nd place. Now first, Zamoglis does dive into the pits for the tire change, so we got Doth 1st place on the 9 lap old hards. I believe he can make it to the end, so he's just going to look to stay away from Camden. Great place to be for Bigger right now, though. Holding on to third place. Team Money just behind him, and D-Zig and Ryan. D-Zig and Ryan make a little bump.
Oh no!
D-Zig touches the wall.
Was that some wing?
It did look like a little bit of wing for D-Zig there, I think. Let me get a look. That is a right front end plate gone.
Oh! Yikes! Aerostrike going to the outside of Ryan. Aerostrike, I believe, has a little bit of wing missing, so Ryan looking to get past him right now. Left front as spotted by Pace Talk. Aero is just wreaking havoc on Ryan's pace right now. Ryan will have to try and get past ASAP. We're going to stay on board with this battle right now because this is crunch time for Ryan moving into lap 11. Oh, and Aerostrike holds him up again into the right-hander before the castle section. Can he make it through the castle section safely? He does, but he is going slow, so Ryan will try and get past him on this Grosjean double kink left-hander because the car does not hold up on this high-speed left-hander. So let's see if he can hold on here, and he does. So he'll have to pass him down the front straight, Pace.
Yeah, Aero makes a little bit more contact with the right-hand wall there. Doesn't lose an end plate, but he is missing that left front end plate, and then we got D-Zig missing the right front. So multiple cars. Aero just got that wing fixed in that pit stop, 9 laps ago, but or maybe not, he might just still be missing it from before, so excuse me on that.
I believe Aerostrike's about to go in. I believe he's about to go. Oh, and Ryan is blocking the exit. So Aerostrike elects to stay out. Ryan moving past without any issues there. Puff right behind Aerostrike now going to fall victim to Aero's missing end plate. So Puff looking to get past Aerostrike ASAP. Ryan going a little bit wide. Their tires are starting to show a little bit of wear. It's going to be interesting how these last 10 laps shape up.
Yeah, I'd say someone to watch at the moment. Of course, Ryan and Aero, they might probably going to have to try to dive in at some point, I think. Maybe not, knowing Aero. He likes to stretch stuff out on the tire compound if he can. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1.
Oh no, Biga has taken the runoff area. I don't necessarily know if he has any wing damage, but he is back in 16th place now at this point. That would be the end of his race. He is going to have a lot of work to do to try and move past some of these excellent T1 drivers in Harry Hotspur, Sam Gruesome, RC7. Finally, our reserve driver Coxie to move in that 10th, and Zimoglis even to move into that 10th place points paying position. So our front runners doing really well. Ryan 4/10 behind D-Zig. Aerostrike 8/10 behind Ryan. So Ryan looking to get past D-Zig. Ryan on the mediums, D-Zig on the hards. I do believe the hards should have a little bit more pace at this point in the race.
Yeah, as we always like to bring up, there is a peak moment for the for each respective tire compound before they start falling off. So as I was getting to earlier, before that moment that happened between Aero, that somewhat to watch at the moment here is Doth. He's holding up front off cammed in 2.5 seconds, but we got Puff out there that jumped up into 7th place on the 4-lap old hard, so he's going to have much more pace than these 6 guys in front of him. Oh, he touches Aero, loses a left front end plate, and that's going into the first turn of the rectangle there.
So Puff lost an end plate?
Yes, he did.
Oh, no.
He touched Aero's gearbox, as it looked.
Commentator curse. Vitality right on the diffuser of Puff Digital now. Puff missing that end plate. JFD Zimoglis UK Coxie looking to make that end plate fiasco work for them. So Puff now on the back foot was in a fantastic spot to try and move into the higher positions on this race. So Vitality now 3/10 behind Puff, and they're moving into the castle section together. Everybody gets through safely, but Vitality looking to pass Puff ASAP.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. It might just be the end plate. I can't see if there's
D-Zig goes absolutely retires from the race. We caught it on camera. How about that? Aerostrike's cockpit view watches D-Zig lose it in the Grosjean double left-hander. Some snap oversteer, understeer, I don't care what you call it. He hit the boards, and now unfortunately Dzig is out of this race, and we have a beautifully timed safety car for all of those missing wings, and for all of these guys in the top positions can move in and change their tires. Pace! Holy tits.
That got wild there. We got the only wild thing at the moment that I'm seeing is Doth stayed out on the 12-lap-old hards. Camden jumps in on the softs. Zamagos is in third. T-Money comes in thirds on softs to finish. I mean mediums to finish off the race. It's gonna be very good for Puff. He's gonna come back out on the mediums and have that wing fixed. Arrow as well, but he throws on the soft, so it's getting even more mixed strategies coming up here with the last bit of laps to go as we get into the 20s here.
I think Doth's thought process is all I need to do is get a better exit coming on to the the start-stop straight through the S's and then the right-hand kink down the pit straight. If I can get a better start or a better exit than the guys behind me on the fresher tires, I stand a chance to keep this lead. Although Pace, the tone in your voice, I feel like you thought that was a big mistake on Doss' part. I agree with you. I think he should have gone in.
I mean, Camden was second. He pits and puts on softs, remains second. So, in that theory, Doth would have came out in first place on a faster compound. So, I think he missed the ball. He missed an opportunity there to, maybe finish off the race on a quick tire. So now he's going to have a lot of work to do with Camden just behind him, which I think was the very smart thing to do. And it looked to me as if when they were passing through, Dolph had plenty of time to go in. So I don't think he missed the opportunity. I think he just decided to go on.
Yep. Aerostrike, Puff Digital now side by side. I know they had the front end plate damage, Aerostrike and Puff respectively. Aero receiving his a little bit before Puff, Puff a lap after. Puff takes the medium tires and Aerostrike elects to take the soft tires. There will be, I believe, 7 laps to go. I think the safety car is going to come on lap 19, so they will have 6 laps to go. What do you think, Pace? Do these softs hold up, or do the Ryan picks up 5, exceeding the track limit. He's in 7th place. Beautiful recovery race here, exceeds the track limit. That is so unfortunate for our resident zookeeper Ryan.
Yeah, but back to what you were saying there, though. I think the softs will make it for sure. I mean,
for sure.
They're not losing anywhere at the moment, driving under safety car. So, they're going to be coming up with 7, as we said, possibly 6 laps. It's going to be, they're going to be sitting fine at the end of the race, I would say, on the soft compound. So, I'm a little worried for Doth at the moment. I hope he can work it out, but he's going to have a lot of work to do keeping Camden off of him.
I don't know if there's going to be another safety car. I don't know, Gary, Mr. GP Colin, if the game will allow for anything other than a VSC now that is in the last 6 laps of the race, because it could just take too much time. Although if there is a incident and a retirement right away, we could potentially see another safety car, and that would be the only thing that's going to save Doth's strategy. But maybe Doth feels like he has more pace than these other guys on the hards. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's thinking to himself. I think more likely he's kicking himself in the ass for not coming in. Pace Talk, we have a question from Neil.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Who do you guys think benefited the most from the safety car? Pace, who do you got? Quickly, the safety car is coming in.
I would say, as it's coming in here, I would say definitely Camden. He jumped in and took the opportunity to put on the quick tires, the quickest tires, per se. Doth might have the idea that he's faster, but I think personally he might be a little worried at the moment. Maybe he should have went in. Maybe he thought Camden would stay out. So my vote right now is Camden.
I can agree. A lot of the people that benefited too are the people with end plate damage, mainly Aerostrike and Puff, moving into ninth and 10th places. Doth just picking the moment and Camden jumps him. Oh, and he's got to give that position back, and he's going to lose a lot of momentum.
Big Sam all go wrecking and spinning, losing parts.
Oh my goodness. Sector 3 yellow flag. Doth going through the first turn. Oh my goodness gracious. Zemo hits the wall, loses an end plate. Camden and Doth moving way far ahead of the grid. Zemo now is going to be holding up everybody after him. RC7 looking to get past T-Money, moving to the outside of RC7. So T-Money moves up into 4th place. There was a lot of commotion there. Pace Dogs, what happened at the back?
I don't even think that it was the back. I think this might be on, just from my point of view, might be on Camden, because he tried to jump Doth there, then had to let off to let Doth go past, which slowed up the entire pack, caused wrecks between Bigga and Sam at the rear, and bunched everyone up. I saw Puff go wide into turn 1. So that caused a lot of commotion just because of that little safety car restart issue.
Well, we're going to see what's going to happen. Stay tuned to the Discord for the incident reports posted. Check the T1 channel. Do not put any input into the channel, but please do take a look and maybe have a little bit of general conversation about it. We always like to have open, amicable public discourse on these incidents, but do not point fingers, because that will get us all booty slaps from our league admins. So Doth coming down the front straight on the 14-lap hards, trying to hold off Camden. I think Doth understands that Camden is going to be on the back foot now, having made that giant error after he has done such a good job to put himself in a fantastic podium points paying position today. So Camden now moving to the inside of Doth, thou hoist. Doth on the outside coming into turn 1. Camden able to brake later on those softs. Doth letting him go. T-Money right behind now on the 3-lap mediums. I think if T-Money can move up past Doth. Oh, and he hits the wall. We caught it on camera. He must be missing an end plate. Sam picks up 3 seconds. All in the meantime. Holy.
T-Money is missing the right front end plate there. And then Ryan and Zamoglis go very close to T-Money, bunching up there into that turn. We have Zamoglis right front end plate gone as well. Bunch of end plates all over the track today. Camden makes that pass on Doth, so he's probably kicking himself for not pitting under those tires. But the whole issue here, which we may find later on, I mean, not pointing any fingers or anything, but I think Camden trying to make that pass on Doth before the safety car fully opened, bigger retires, is possibly what caused the pack to bunch up there.
Yeah, well, this is just, there's a Sector 1 yellow flag now. Bigga has, somebody is there at the start-stop straight. I have no idea who that is. I think as big as Ghost, if I'm not mistaken. So something has happened to his car. He's not going to be happy with that result. He did so well today to show us that he has the pace to hang with the big dogs, and unfortunately his race was taken from him via a race start error by Camden. So he's going to have to try and put as much time as he can between him and Doth, because I know for that egregious error he probably will get anywhere from a 5 to a 10 second penalty. Zamoglis, something happened to Zemo. Oh, Zemo going into the pits to fix his wing. So RC7 and Vitality side by side coming through the rectangle.
Yeah, very odd moment that happened on that restart. Sorry to jump in there, but
nope,
I'm sure we will hear about it here in the incident reports. There's been some issues this season with safety car restarts. People got to know how to drop back far enough and when they can take off. And I think it was maybe a little miscommunication, misidea there on when to go. It looked as if, as I said, Camden tried to get the jump, which then maybe the MFD told him, Jeff told him he needed to give the position back, which caused the pack to slow down. Or it possibly could have been something mid-pack. I don't know. I don't want to assume. Just saying what I saw. Camden has no time penalties, GP, at the moment.
Camden has no time penalties. You heard it here first. Pace Talk's also running our supercomputer. JFD 6/10 behind RC7 now, and Vitality 7/10 behind Ryan. So we're going to see some start-stop straights here, some passing happening into the race, or into the latter stage of the race here, lap 22 of 26. So still some time for some action. So stay tuned, everybody. Keep your eyes on the camera as JFD is 2/10 behind RC7, easily going to make this pass happen. Going into the camera view here, watching JFD go down the inside, looks as if they're all going to make it. It looked like Aerostrike wants to come too for fun. So the two McLarens side by side through the first turn of the rectangle, the second turn of the rectangle, JFD maintaining that 6th place position, recovering from that error somebody had enacted on him earlier. JFD's race now feeling rejuvenated. He must be excited about this finish considering the circumstances earlier.
Yeah, it looks as if RC might be backing up Aero and Puff here. He is missing both end plates, so as I said before, lots of end plates all over the track here, left or right, regardless. They're everywhere. People are having some pace issues, maybe bumping into some walls here and there, trying to battle for the end.
Well, the last thing you want to do here, oh, what a beautiful shot through the castle section. I wish I could choose that shot as the stock option, because that was just absolutely gorgeous. Looking at the front view of each car as the camera was stationary, the cars threading the needle, Vitality threading the needle behind Ryan, now 4/10 behind our Zookeeper. Coming down the start-stop straight as a bird squawked. Who knows where that came from? That was definitely not chicken making that noise at all. Riding on board with Vitality now, opening up that DRS, looking at the back of Ryan. Which way am I going to go? Is Ryan going to go defensive, and is Vitality going to go aggressively offensive here? Ryan does still have DRS, so they're going side by side through the first corner here. Vitality breaks a little bit later. Ryan not letting him go, as he is very confident going side by side with drivers I know from our 5-lap races on Friday. Vitality taking the inside line through the rectangle. Ryan has to let him go there, looking to get him back here on the second DRS straight. We're going to go on board with Ryan to see if we can find any action coming into the penultimate corner of the rectangle. Ryan elects to let him go. Vitality holding on to that 4th place position. Zemoglis retires from the session.
As if the top 3 stays the way, we got a yellow flag. We got sector 1 there. It might be of Zemo, which I believe it is.
There's a. I think that's Coxie has. I think that Coxie has put it into the wall. And we're on board with Hotspurs to confirm. Yeah, there's Coxie.
Yes. And that is on the exit of that turn, but no safety car there. But as if, what I was getting to, we got the top 3. If they stay where they are, we're going to hear what Doth has to say about that pit strategy that he decided to go with, running on those very old hards at the moment. Team Money not too far behind, could possibly try to make a move for that second spot the last few laps. So we're going to hear maybe also what happened between Camden and Doth. So the podium interviews, definitely stick around for those. It's going to be something to hear. Very interesting.
Yes, stick around for that. Everybody in the chat, also drop your questions at the end of the race. We would love to ask them for you. As JFD dropping that DRS on Ryan, going down the inside without any issues, as those two drivers now go single file through the first corner. Ryan letting JFD go. Puff Digital and RC7 are side by side. Puff taking that 7th position. Aerostrike actually rather dropping into 8th position. Now the 8 and 9 positions are the McLarens, although they are not teammates, as Aero is a reserve driver. Aero looking to go to the outside of Puff. Puff playing the defensive role here. Puff squeezing Aero a little bit, make a tiny little bit of contact, but both drivers make it through unscathed.
Something must have happened there, maybe on the second DRS straight. Vitality does make the pass on Team Money, so we got Vitality setting P3 on the 7-lap old mediums. Very close to Doth here.
Yes, if Vitality passes Doth, I don't think Doth will be able to. I don't think Vitality has any penalty points, so it is a clean net position for Vitality. Although we're still going to have to see what Camden has. Is going to be doled a penalty, or whether that is considered a incident or an issue for Doth, maybe not starting early enough, but I do believe that would not be the case. Camden in first place, Doth in second place, and now Vitality in third place behind Doth within DRS range, opening up that DRS, trying to mount an attack until the very last lap here. Some drivers, 2/10 to look at. JFD, Ryan, and Puff, Arrow Strike, all 3/10 from each other, and they're all going wide. What a crazy view on board with Arrow, looking at all these drivers. Oh, and Puff goes to the outside. Ryan stays to the inside. I don't know what happened there. They all checked up. Puff has to do an aggressive, evasive maneuver there. Holy hot dogs. I don't know what happened. There must have been some contact on the front straight. Oh, and T-Money goes wide and loses his front left tire. We caught it on camera. What do you think of that, Chad? Unfortunately, T-Money puts it into the wall. And this is the last lap madness that we had been anticipating all race. Oh, and Doth, oh no! Doth now into third place on the hards behind Vitality. Vitality and Doth not being able to drive cleanly there through those rectangle and the coming out of the left-right floater into the right-hander here before the castle section. We're going to see, and Doth cuts that corner a little bit. T-Money left the session.
This could be okay for Doth, though, as we said before. Being behind a car going under that long DRS front straight is not a bad place to be. He might be able to pull a DRS pass on Vitality if he can stay close enough.
Looks like Ryan's turned around right before the castle section, but we can't afford to get off of Doth's camera here. So Doth right behind Vitality, 4/10 behind our driver running his first race, doing a fantastic job in the Renault here. So Doth is looking to open up that DRS. There is a sector 1 and 2 yellow flag. Ryan retires from the section. Unfortunately, that is on track, but I don't think that will be an issue as this is the last lap. I don't think Doth is going to be able to come back at Vitality. So Vitality swerving, coming through the finish line in front. Is that him letting us? Oh, and Puff passes JFD for 4th place. Puff takes 4th place. JFD moving into 5th place. Arrow Strike crosses the line in 6th. He is a Tier 2 reserve, so Tier 2 shout out. RC7 in 7th. The Gruesome Car in 8th. Hotspurs coming across the line in 9th. And Lacunac taking that 10th points paying position. And Sam, the only person, unfortunately, that is finishing out of the points, is the only person that can finish out of the points. Taking that 11th place position. Who knows if he'll even bring it home. Holy Toledo pace. I needed another drink. What did you make? What did you make of that race?
Yeah, that got wild. As we said, it's going to be a lot of bumping and grinding there. You got 7 people out of the race. 7 drivers retired, either in the pits or with. On the podium interviews, what he has to say about that pit stop. Vitality, great showing.
Can you invite Camden?
But I will go ahead and
into the party.
Yeah, I will
Nice.
do that.
Nice. Thanks, Pace. I don't have jurisdiction to invite anybody to the party. On board with Sam M226 in the Williams with the ugliest wheel award in all of F1. Here is our podium. Look up and smile, wave your hands, support your favorite drivers. That is Camden Luca in the top step of the podium, but unfortunately I don't think he's going to stay there as he did make a giant error on the safety car restart. Vitality there to his left, having shown us that he can race with the big dogs, coming second. He does have a lot of vitality as it is. Doth in 3rd place.
Personally here, I got Doth's invite out, but I would like to maybe see what Camden has to say first, being that he might have, or we could go with Doth first, seeing what he has to say about it, then Vitality, and holding up with Camden at the end there, because it's going to be interesting what these guys have to what their ideas are.
Doth thou hoist third place on the oldest hards I have ever seen? How come, my sexy weightlifting lawyer, did you not go in during the safety car?
So I figured that they were whatever I did, they were going to do the opposite. So the way that I looked at it was that when I looked in the rearview mirror, if I had gone in and T-Money, Vitality, and Camden had all stayed out, I would have come. I figured I would have come out in probably fifth, and I didn't want to try to make up 4 spots on this track in 7 laps.
So you felt you had a lot of pace on those hards.
It's not that. It's just like I don't. My kind of goal here was to just never be in traffic, because on this track, if you're in traffic, you hit the wall. And so I'm like, look, this is just. I had just kind of accepted at that point that the safety car has now taken 4 wins from me this season.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
4. And I'm like, I don't know what to say at this point.
I had you for first place.
No.
I did. I had you for the top step of the podium, because you had so many instances where you were ahead of the grid, and unfortunately, Lady Luck was not on your side. So, fantastic job on that third place, I believe.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Vitality got you at the end there. Hey, were you fighting him? Were you fighting tooth and nail or what?
Yeah, a little bit, but he had too much pace, and then so I tried to kind of slot in behind him to try to kind of get him on the straight and a run to the finish, but it just didn't matter.
All right, Vitality coming in second place in the Renault. Vitality, what are your thoughts on today's race? What was your strategy? And avoid you did. We saw you pass on a lot of people. What was your thought coming in? I believe you came in on that safety car, and you popped out in what, 5th position? Well, you did a great job coming out on your first race. You had a chance to read the rules before the race, so you didn't infringe on any of our special Zor rules. What do you think of the Tier 1 drivers? Was it a good race for you, considering the community? Well, we're excited to have you here, Vitality. And now for our top step inhabitant, Camden. This has been a fantastic race for you, man. I chose you as my dark horse today. You were we have to ask it. You were good all the way up in that safety car restart. What happened?
It was just chaos. I think when we were coming to the green, I think I just second guessed it. I think I saw Doth possibly go, and then I went too. But like I said, it was crazy. And then I went, but I made sure that obviously I gave the spot back and everything. I had no idea of the chaos that happened behind us. So if I was any cause of that, I feel really bad and I apologize. But I mean, what a crazy race though. A couple of safety cars, lots of strategy. Qualifying was good. Doth and I were fast. It was just a great race though. Congrats to Jackson, Vitality on that second place finish, his first start. So, crazy race.
Yeah, so it looked like Doth had made a jump, so that's why you decided to go there. There was a little bit of action behind you, unfortunately, so we're going to see those in the incident reports. Do tune in, but a fantastic race from you, Camden. I know you're one of the top drivers. You had came out and showed us that, hey, I'm the best when Monaco came around, but
That's
Since
right.
then, you've been having a tough time. Is it just strategies not going your way until now, or how have the few races been since Monaco?
I think it's just been a lot of bad luck. I think there's just been a lot of scenarios where things didn't go my way. Just safety cars coming at wrong times. There's a couple crashes I got collected in, just not of my doing, just wrong place, wrong time. And today it just worked out. I mean, the thing that's so ironic about this, though, is the way that I won Monaco is because I came in and pit on soft tires and passed Doth in the end, who was on older tires. And then that same thing happened this race. So I think I think that's really interesting.
That
Um,
wasn't lost on me, Camden. That wasn't lost on me.
Chicken, if you'd, I'd like to hop in and ask. I'll just
Please, absolutely.
go down the order from 1, 2, 3 here. A couple things from each guys before we close it out. But Camden, a couple things for you. During that pit stop, were you going in on sauce regardless, or were you going to see what Doth did?
Oh no, I was going on soft because I had an extra pair of softs. I don't know what the other guys had, but I had extra softs in there, so I knew I was going on softs. And I knew that the safety car was going to be out for a couple laps too, so that my softs were probably going to get to the end of the race. I was a little worried about the guys who took mediums if their tires were going to be better at the end, but I was still pretty confident with the softs.
We pretty much knew you were good to the end up in the booth here, but we were wondering what Doth was thinking, and he obviously explained that to us. But we were talking about how we thought you benefited most from that safety car, and when it came down to that restart, obviously we weren't pointing any fingers in the booth. We just didn't know what happened. We don't know maybe if the chaos started behind you, regardless of what happened between you and Doth at the start or not. Just looked as if you maybe tried to guess when it was going, then you had to give the spot back, but I don't know what happened behind you guys. Very bunched up group, so who knows? Well, I'm sure we'll find out. Vitality, big ups to you. Congratulations on your second place finish there. Your debut. Lots of quick guys in this league, so happy to see you up there. Another quick driver everybody's got to deal with. And then finally, Doth. Obviously happy to see you up there. We were talking about how we thought you deserved it. Just one of the best, one of the classiest guys we got around.
Cheers, thank you.
But what did you see during that safety car restart?
So the rule on the safety car restart, it was changed between 2018 and 2019, is that the safety car restart line is now the start-finish line. So I don't have to hit the gas until the start-finish. So I just made sure I kept consistent until I was getting close to the start-finish line, because that's when it turns green. So once he jumped me, I nailed the gas, because once he jumped me, I knew he was going to have to give it back or else get a penalty if he crossed the line ahead of me.
Gotcha.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah,
Nice.
smart driving by all three of you. Doth, as you explained to us, you had to go with your gut on the pit stop there. Is unfortunate.
Yep.
Camden benefited from it, but you go in. I think you would have came out in first, but that's hindsight's 2020. So
Exactly.
who knows
If
what
they
would
all
have happened?
pit, right? So Camden said he would have pit, but like if everybody else had stayed out and I would have come out behind, say, I didn't know if I was going to come out in front or behind Zamaglis, and if I had come out behind Zamaglis, I could have come out in like possibly 5th place, and at that point you're like, how do you pit out of the lead to 5th place with 7 laps to go in a race?
Yep.
That'd be a hard pill to swallow if I lost because of that.
Yeah, tough place to be in, but still, way to hold on to a podium spot there.
Cheers. Thank you.
With very old tires. Good drive
Yep.
by all three of you, and
Thank you.
congrats again.
Pace Dogs, well, very well said. Why don't you take us through the outro today?
Oh, the outro today. Well, that's all we got here for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here at Zenith Online Racing. I'm Pace Dogs, and the partner in the booth today.
You are the weakest link